Okay, I think it's starting to work now. I just need to change some stuff on the front page here. Okay, well, this seems to be working. I think. So, hi, everybody. Welcome to yet another episode of Breakfast of Champions, featuring me, Steven Strum, from Fanbyte.com, managing editor of Fanbyte.com. Thank you very much. Do not get it twisted. I am back again with another roguelike. I don't know why. I don't know why I've been on such a roguelike kick lately. It's just been what I need right now. There's not a lot of other stuff out right now in terms of big AAA stuff to check out. Mortal Kombat is next week. I'm looking forward to playing some Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen on Switch. But before then, I'm just looking for some stuff that I can get in, get out, make a little bit of progress, maybe come back to it later. Which is what excuse me. It's what I've been doing with Slay the Spire. I've got all 3 characters unlocked now. I have a couple of different card sets for each of them. Yeah. I don't know. I've been, really digging this game, but for the longest time I couldn't really get into it. I think I was waiting for the Switch version, and then eventually I was just like, let's give this a shot. Let's see what happens. And I did. And here we are, and I've, gotten kind of obsessed with it, to be completely honest with you. I don't know what it is about this one particular game. I feel like I've been making very little progress from week to week, run to run. It's just been, I don't know, really relaxing and kind of soothing. Kind of a perfect early morning Breakfast of Champions game, I think. Maybe, in fact, roguelikes in general are perfect Breakfast of Champions games. As for what character I've been really enjoying, I got 4 unlocks, 3 unlocks, 2 unlocks. You can probably tell by those number of unlocks that I've been playing a lot of the Defect. It's kind of like, if you were to say this game has like kind of a wizard class, that's kind of the Defect, and then there's the Ironclad, which is kind of your basic warrior. I have not played a ton of the Silent, which is your assassin rogue type character, so let's give them a little bit of a shot here. I don't know what any meta is, I don't know what's good, what people like. I tend to find relics to be pretty important. Let's go this way. I like to get into lots of fights because I like to get those extra cards and kind of move them in and build up my deck and get that money more than I worry too much about. I guess I didn't really need to use that, but that's fine. I don't worry so much about like going into the like a randomized battle type things or the randomized encounters. Like those are fun and interesting, but as far as the game goes, mostly want to just like get a bigger, better deck. And for those of you who don't know, Slay the Spire is a roguelike. It's you can play one of 3 characters, which you probably saw me select here. What is this one? Every turn gain 1 energy. That's great. That's a really, really good early relic. I love that. And, yeah, you kind of move through this appropriately named Spire, from room to room, getting up to a boss, building up a deck the entire time, and it's a turn-based combat with the boss, or with the combat kind of based around playing these cards. And you start with basically the same deck every single time, depending on what character you pick, but you can pick up more cards every time you win a fight, and every time you win a mini boss fight, which it'll show you on the thing if it's a mini boss or a normal enemy or whatever, you usually get like a very special card. And then there are relics that kind of increase these up here. Oh, I can't look at it right now because I'm in this menu. Well, let's get back to that in a second. Let's look at these cards here. We got Acrobatics, draw 3 cards, discard 1 card, which can be pretty good. The Silent, the Rogue type class, actually draws way more cards per turn than everybody else, so you typically have way more than you need. And also, there are a bunch of Silent cards that allow you to like heal or do extra damage every time you discard a card. So discarding is not actually a super terrible thing with the Silent. This one is blue, which I think means it's uncommon, which usually means, you know, just a little bit more rare. Add a random skill card into your hand. It costs 0 this turn. Exhaust. And now Exhaust, as you can probably tell from the thing up there, says removed until the end of combat. So you can only use it once per run, or per battle, rather. That's a really good one. I'll grab that. Go into the next fight here. These guys are kind of annoying, but pretty easy to deal with if you're only fighting one at a time, I find. And since he's not... So you can tell by the icon above their heads what they're going to do on their next turn. Every once in a while you get an enemy that has just question marks because you don't know quite what they're going to do, but it's usually not like an attack or something like that. This one means that they are going to use a buff. And later on in the Spire, you end up finding a bunch of different people who can use multiple actions on a single turn, so they'll attack and defend at the same time. But since he's not doing either of those things... let's just go ahead and do as much damage to him as I possibly can. Okay, so this is why these guys are kind of annoying. This ritual here, that feather icon under him, he will basically permanently increase the amount of damage he does by 3 every single turn from now on. This is a shitty hand because it's all it is block. I can't get any damage in on him this turn whatsoever, so that's really annoying. You generally want to block as much as possible, I've found, because you do not get health back very frequently in the Spire. The only time you get health back is, like, maximum health, is when you beat a boss. And you can go to specific sort of rest areas, but the thing about the rest areas is those will only heal you by about 30%, I think it is, or 25%, something like that, of whatever your maximum health is. So they're good, but the problem is that... Oh, use that. Might as well use that card here. Backflip, block 5, gain 2 cards. Like it. The problem is that you also want to upgrade your cards, which is something that you can only do at those spots as well, or only do reliably at those spots. So to heal, you're wasting the opportunity to make your deck permanently stronger. And you're always going to heal when you beat the boss, so you kind of need to think to yourself, well... Is this the time? Is this the one time I want to do this? This is probably a bad move here. I probably should just be getting damage in instead of trying to block him, because he's just going to get more powerful. Yeah, see that. Game 5 block, draw 2 cards. Let's get that in there. That's not great. Just go for it. I'll take the hit. I'll take the 10. That's fine. Oof. I think I took too long to knock him out of this game here. I was kind of waiting for... I have a card that applies weak that makes them do less damage and stuff like that, and it's just, you know, useful. So that's gain 4 block, but it's cost 0 energy, so I could just play that for free and get just a chunk of block. That's another big thing with the Silent, is they have a lot of cards that cost very little mana, which you only have 3 of per turn, unless you have some special relic or something. So you have to kind of build your turn around that those energy costs. The Mage type class, the Defect, has a ton of cards and abilities that allow them to kind of gain more energy per turn than they should, and that's kind of been one of the main reasons that I like them so much, because they can also... Their passive ability just lets them do damage to a random enemy every turn. And so what you can end up doing is just tanking up and blocking while your thing chips away at enemies over time, which the problem with that is you run into enemies like these cultists that just start doing more and more and more damage. If you take too long to kill them, they will just break through your defenses anyway, and you don't have much choice. Let's do that one. That's a great card. Let's go through one of these random events to just show people what they look like. So yeah, from the darkness, an arm pulls you into a small shop. As your eyes adjust, you see a pale woman in sharp clothes gesturing towards a wall of potions. Buy a potion. Now! she states. I don't typically use a ton of potions in this game. Unless I have there's a certain relic that makes it so you gain a potion after every single battle. As long as you win, obviously. And that's pretty good, because then you know for sure that you're always going to have more potions to play with, so you can just, like, pop them every run. Also, I should get better about using potions, to be completely honest. I'm not going to buy anything, because I want to go here and buy some stuff from this guy. Now, I don't have enough money for any relics, which is a bummer, because I usually like to grab a strong relic from here, like, Shuriken is great every time, especially for the Silent. The Shuriken would have been great, actually. Every time you play 3 attacks in a single turn, gain 1 strength. That just permanently, for that battle anyway, permanently increases your amount of damage that you do, and since you're using so many cards every turn as the Silent, that's really, really good. Cards which exhaust when played will still instead discard 50% of the time. That's really, really good. Enemies with weak deal 40% less damage rather than 25% less damage. That's also really good. It's a real bummer I can't have any of these. What's on sale? We got Outmaneuver. Next turn, gain 2. That's a pretty good one, especially for cheap. Gain 2 Dexterity. Dexterity is like Strength, but it increases the amount that you block instead of the amount of damage you do, which is pretty cool. And power cards like this, with the circular art, are permanent for the entire fight. Once you play them, that power does not go away. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second, folks. No idea what that was about. I just feel like I have some sinus issues in the morning lately. I don't know what it is. I just feel like I'm talking a little bit nasally to folks out there. But maybe I'm wrong. Who can say? You can say, obviously. Sucker Punch is good. Weak makes them do less damage to me. Deal 9 damage, draw 1 card, discard 1 card. Let's grab that too, why not? I don't have much card stock right now to go on. So looking at my next route here, if I take this way, I'll get a random event, which can oftentimes, I find, be pretty useless compared to just killing enemies and getting money and getting cards. So let's do that. And then I'll get into a mini-boss fight here in the near future. Sucker Punch is great. Let's do that. So now he's doing 8 damage instead of 11 because I applied Weak to him, which is really, really good. But I'm still going to take damage, and since the Silent has the lowest amount of health of anybody in the game and not a lot of great ways to heal themselves, I'll just block after that. Ooh, this is really, really good, and then I can neutralize. Oh, I don't need to neutralize because they're not attacking. They're going to buff and block, so let's hit them with some real juicy stuff here. And I've got 4 energy this turn, which you can see on the far left there. That's that green crystal icon. So let's go Bouncing Flash. That's great, because it's all going to hit this one enemy. Look at that. That's all that green damage is damage that they're going to take on their next turn in the form of poison. And then every single turn after that, they're going to take damage again, but it'll be 1 less every time until it runs out. But either way, that's going to be a ton of damage here for a little while. Let's get this in. Let's get this in. Blur. Oh, that's okay, because that, yeah. Block is not removed on the start of my next turn, so I get to keep all that. What was neutralize? Oh. So they've blocked and increased their own strength, so now they're doing 14 damage because my weakness also wore off. So let's go in ahead here. Still got 4 energy to play with. I can discard one of my defends, I think. Get that hit in. Get that block in. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine here. And they're taking so much damage from that poison right now because all of it went on to them. That's great. Let's get that damage in, because they're not attacking. Yep, and they're dead. Easy peasy. Liquid Bronze. So this gives you 3 thorns, which is, I love this. I don't use potions very often, because I forget. But this is a really good one. This one makes it so that for the entire battle, anytime an enemy hits you, they take 3 damage as well. And what you end up getting into a lot of the times is having enemies that have attacks that are like 5 times 1. So it'll be like, instead of hitting you once for 5 damage, they'll hit you 5 times for 1 damage, which is functionally the same most of the time. But if you have something like Thorns, that means instead of taking 3 damage, they're going to take 15 damage, which is a huge difference, obviously. So that's a really, really good potion. Love that potion. To apply 2 poison to all enemies at the start of your turn for 1 energy? I don't think I've ever seen this card before. That seems unbelievable. Cost 1 additional every time. I don't love these ones. I believe it's the Ironclad has the opposite of this, where it costs less energy every time you take damage. I don't love this idea because you never know when you're going to get a card to be drawn, so it just might turn out that you get this at the end of your deck, and it's just like, well, fuck that, I guess. This seems too good to pass up. I'm going to grab that. Also going to do this mini-boss here. Okay. So this is an interesting mini-boss. They start off asleep, so you can kind of do whatever you want to them, but they start off with 8 defense, and then the ability to metallicize for 8 damage every turn thereafter. Which means that they're going to get 8 block no matter what they do. Forever, basically. So let's go ahead and get this party started. We'll use that. Get that good poison damage in there. They've also got 109 health, which is a lot. But they're asleep. So that helps. Let's get that in. Make our next turn a little bit juicier. We can kind of afford to do this because it doesn't matter. Get that extra damage in. So they're stunned because I woke them up. So they don't get to attack this turn. They don't get to do anything. So I get kind of another free turn a little bit. But now they're going to be hitting me for 18 damage here if I don't do anything. That seems really good. Let's get Survivor. I don't think I really need to do... So the nice thing about doing that extra poison damage every single turn now is that that's just going to keep building up because it's doing more damage, more poison damage than I'm losing every turn. So as long as I am making sure that they don't break through my defenses, they're just going to die. They're just going to die now. Which, applying Weak is a big thing for that, so now I only have to block 13 damage, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. I'm going to block a good chunk of it, though. One nice thing, too, is you always get to go to a campfire before you fight a boss. So if you just need a little bit of boost of health, you're good. What do they do here? Strategic. This enemy intends to inflict a powerful negative effect on you. 10 poison. Let's get that outmaneuver. Always good to plan for the future. Get that damage in. Get that in. Yeah. Not much to do that turn, but next turn should be real nice. Okay, so they've reduced my dexterity and my strength by 1 both, so I'm doing 1 less damage and blocking 1 less block every single turn now, which is not optimal, but you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes, folks. And I didn't have a ton of block here, so I'm gonna take the brunt of this 18 damage here, which is not great. But he should be dead next turn. I'm still staying over half health. That, you know, it could be way worse. Let's get that in there. Poison always procs before the next turn, so he's just going to die anyway. And there we go. Did take a little bit of a hit there, but the nice thing is, in addition to the extra card and the gold, every time you kill a mini-boss, you get a relic. And this one is, at the start of your turn, deal 3 damage to all enemies, which, just for free, just doing that for nothing, is huge. Holy shit. Also, we've got our first rare card here. Enemy loses X strength, apply X weak, and then exhaust. X is just the amount of energy that you have left in your hand when you play this card. It just automatically plays it, so you have to kind of build your turn around when you want to play a move like Malaise, which is interesting. Could grab another Noxious Fumes, which seems real nasty. Deal 8 damage, draw 1 card for 1, which is also pretty nasty. Enemy loses strength. Yeah, that seems really, really tough to pass up. That rare card. As situational as that's going to end up being, that seems really, really, really tough to pass up. Yeah, and then they just took 3 damage at the beginning of this fight because of the Mercury Hourglass. Which is nuts, to be honest with you. Let's get that guy weakened up a little bit so that I can just use 1 defend. And then let's make this guy do less damage every turn now. So he's going to do 2 less damage every turn for the rest of the game, but also for the next 2 turns, including this turn, he's going to do even less, 25% less on top of that. So he's going to be nice and weak. Never mind. Guess not. But hit him with that. Get that in there. Get that in there before he gets too strong. Would have loved to use my Bouncing Flask. Not the right move right now when I'm this low health. When I'm this close to half health. Especially since they're taking damage every single turn now. So that one's just going to die outright. That one's buffing this turn, so he doesn't really worry me because I'm just going to kill him before he's going to get another chance to move anyway. This guy's gone. Unless I get an incredibly shitty hand here, it's all defense. This guy dies this turn. Oh, he's going to die this turn anyway because I forgot I have the 3 damage. So let's get that little stab in, and there we go. Ooh, another extremely good potion. No problem with a good old poison potion. Just 6 pure potion or poison damage for nothing. Doesn't even cost energy. You can just use it whenever you want. I might go for the double the enemy's poison, because we seem to be going for a pretty poison-heavy build here right now. That seems pretty juicy to me. What do you got for me? I've only got 74 gold, so probably don't have a lot. Delay damage next turn, game 1 energy. I love Flying Knee. Great card, great card. Double the enemy's poison. Just grab that one, so I don't really need it. Oh, man. I would have loved to get Vajra. Dig for relics at rest sites. Interesting. Oh, I've never seen that one before. That's cool. Well, Flying Knee is a really good, just basic, common card to have. Oh, and I need a little bit more of those, to be honest with you. So this is that Sneaky Strike. This is one of those cards where if you have discarded a card this turn, gain 2 energy. Kind of situational because it requires you to discard a card, but the Silent tends to have a lot of cards that make you discard cards. I might go for Deflect, though, because of all that extra juicy poison I'm doing every single turn these days, so just having more block options seems really good. Whenever an enemy dies, gain 1 energy and gain 1 card and draw 1 card. That's also pretty good. Getting some good stuff here. Again, not my favorite class in the entire game. I don't know them as well as I probably should. So I can do that. Deflect. So I've just done all this. I've done 3 damage to the first 2 enemies, then another 3 to the back enemy, and blocked for 4, which is going to negate all the damage they do, for 0 energy. This cost me nothing to do. This is why the Silent is cool. I have not quite wrapped my head around them just yet, but definitely a cool enemy. These enemies are kind of weird because every time you hit them, they start blocking up for free. So you basically only want to ever try and hit them once per turn, but that does not include abilities like my Poison and the Mercury Hourglass. So these guys are still wide open, and I can hit this one who's a little bit juicier right now. And I've still got 2 energy to play with. Why not? I can't really double their poison because they've already got it, so this seems like the only move here. So let's just get this guy really weak, so on his next turn, in his future turns, he won't be able to do jack shit. Spitweb, so they're going to reduce my damage that I do every turn, but so much of my damage right now is coming from things like poison, which isn't affected by strength, that kind of doesn't matter. Plus, let's just see them get that 3 damage in there. Very nice, very nice. Not any blocks whatsoever right now, which is a little bit unfortunate, but I can save myself from some damage here by just killing these guys outright. Oh, I can just do that to everybody. Kind of a waste of that poison potion, but whatever. I'll get more. That's the thing about potions. The thing I need to really wrap my head around is you will always get more. You will get more potions than you can use if you're not using them. Dash seems really, really good. Let's grab that. Let's just do a normal fight. Like I said, I want that money, And I want them cards. I want money and cards. Money and cards. Lots of really good stuff in my first hand here. My opening hand really, really, really strong. Plus I got the 4 extra energy from the Happy Flower. Which I wonder if that's an Undertale reference. I gotta imagine that's an Undertale reference. But who can say? The developers could say. I haven't asked them. So I'm going to take 7 damage. This guy in the back here is going to start juicing himself up every turn. That's a little bit worrisome. I could Thorn. Use my Thorn Potion, but I don't know if that's really the play here. They don't really attack. These guys don't really attack multiple times per turn, and you kind of want to save that for enemies that attack multiple times per turn. Let's get the poison in there. I think that's definitely the way to do it. I want that poison on enemies. He's got 6. If I can double his poison with Catalyst, he'll be taking 12 damage at the end of this turn. Yeah, let's do that. And then let's... I hate to just use such a basic card when I've got so many good options, but that's the other thing about this game. Your cards will always come back around. As long as you're not exhausting them, as long as they don't have the exhaust effect on them, you will get those cards back. So don't worry too much about it. Once you mill through your entire deck, it just... your graveyard, to put it in Magic the Gathering terms. Maybe I'll play some Magic the Gathering on a future podcast. Maybe I'll play some... stream. Maybe I'll play some Magic the Gathering Arena. I've been thinking about that lately. Okay, grab that Calculated Gamble. Discard your hand, then draw that many cards. Exhaust. No. No, I don't think so. Seven, 6, 13. Get another block in there. Because they're going to be taking a ton of damage every turn now anyway, so I might as well just let them take the damage. I might as well save myself the trouble. Let's get those Noxious Fumes in, and then let's block all this damage that I would take normally. And then, why not use Deflect? It's not like it exhausts or anything like that. It costs 0. Might as well use it. That guy's going to be out of the picture here, so now I can focus on the slime, and the slime ain't nothing. Slime ain't shit. Look at this. Weakened. Exhausted. I probably could have saved myself a little bit of damage there. I acted hasty there. I thought I was being hot shit. I should have just used a block and let the damage continue to pile up every turn. That's okay. I took 1 damage. Worse things have happened. Ooh, gain 4 plated armor. Like that. I like that. I like that. Deal 6 damage, apply 3 poison. Deal 7 damage, apply 1 weak. Always good to... Weak is... applying weak on top of damage is basically just like free damage and the equivalent of a block. It's really, really nice. Add 2 shivs into your hand. I don't really love that. I think we're going for a very poison-heavy build here. That's kind of what you end up having happen to you in Slay the Spire, I find. Is that... you kind of roll the dice on the first few battles and the first few cards that you get, but eventually you gotta start thinking like, okay, this character can do one of 3 things, or in the case of the defect, one of 37 things. You know, like you do. And you want to start thinking about what synergizes with what, because if your character deals a lot of poison, odds are that you're going to have a lot of cards that also take advantage of dealing even more poison. Like that one card, the Catalyst, that doubles poison damage. So, the more things that I have that apply poison, the more effective that card is going to be over time. But if I get cards that are more about, like, using tons of cards that cost 0, that's a different build. Since I've been going so poison heavy this time, I think I'll just continue to do that. Risky play here with how much health I have. Okay, this boss isn't too tough. This boss is not the worst I've ever faced. Let's get the Bouncing Flask out there. What it's going to do is these enemies have a thing called Artifact, that little gear symbol there that makes them immune to 1 buff every turn. Let's do this too. Why not? Get that Plated Armor. Plated Armor, at the end of your turn, gain 4 block. Receiving attack damage reduces Plated Armor by 1. Defense... wait, Deflect? Is that what that is? Deflect. Deflect! I don't have a lot of other options here. I can do this to draw one card and maybe get another deflect. I don't think I have another deflect in my hamper, though. Hamper? Why not? Steal the damage. So the way that this boss works is that the one in the center always does the opposite of what the ones on the two sides are doing. But the two ones on the two sides are always doing the same thing as each other. So what they like to do is they will double attack, but then they will also add a bunch of those junk cards to my hand that go away every time they come into my hand, which, honestly, not a terrible boss for the Silent to fight, because I draw 2 extra cards per turn than everybody else. I'm going to mill through those shitty garbage cards way faster. Definitely want that, especially now that I went to the trouble of removing the artifact from a bunch of those characters there. Apply 1 weak. Get that in there, get that in there, get that in there. Who's got the most poison? You are the only one with poison, so... It's kind of a waste of the card because it exhausts, but honestly, just getting that one out of the loop here as fast as possible, not the worst thing in the world. That was me stretching, by the way. Don't worry, I'm fine. Apply that weak, get that damage in, and just let them eat it, honestly. Remove their strength, too. Even if it's just 1, that's 1 less damage I have to worry about in the future. That can be the difference between losing 1 plated armor and not losing any plated armor. Okay. Distraction at a random kill. Definitely want to use dash, I think. Especially since I'm just building up that poison right now. Get that 10 block. So, because of my plated armor, I also gain 2, so I've got 10 block plus 2, that's 12. They're going to be doing a lot more than 12, though. Let's do this. They're going to be taking a bunch of extra poison here at the end of every turn, plus my 3, so there's no reason for me to not just, like, turtle up, let them kill themselves, basically. Just by fighting me, they're going to be continuously killing themselves. See, that one's already gone. So this is that Daze card. It's an ethereal, which means that if it's in my hand at the end of the turn, it just goes away. But basically, it's just, like, here to fuck with my turn and make my hand worse. But it's not going to matter, because this guy's going to die this turn anyway. Yeah, he's just going to die from the poison. And then I get a nice juicy relic, and I'm at half health. I'm at 50% health, which is not bad. Upon pickup, gain 30 gold. You are 10% more likely to find treasure in question mark rooms. That's an interesting card, because I hate those question mark rooms. Because 90% of the time, they just fuck you over. It's like, oh, you got cursed by a vampire or some garbage. That makes it a lot more enticing, because if it's just treasure, I'll take some treasure. Let it be known. I'm pointing. You can't see me. Let it be known, I love treasure. In and out of the game, to be honest. Slay the Spire, Hades, real life, Caribbean cruises, Bermuda Triangle... Any place I am, anytime I am, love some treasure. Backflip is good, but footwork, I think, is the one to go there. Boy, I'm probably tempting fate going 2 straight battles without healing at 35% health right now. Not getting that extra heal before I fight the boss, so I'm probably just going to actually, you know what? I was going to say, I'm still going to do it, but no. Let's do it. Let's get one more regular fight in, get maybe a nice card, then heal up before the boss again, assuming that I need to, even. Get that. Ooh, lovely, lovely, lovely. Good. Just keep on piling on the damage here, I think. Let's get the one that's going to start juicing himself up here. Let's get him lower. Because this one is going to attack, and that's whatever. This one, on the other hand, is gaining 3 strength already. So the sooner I can get them out of the picture, the better. Let's get that bouncing flask. I love it. It's not going to hit the one I wanted it to hit, but that's fine, too. No potions to play with. That's not going to actually do anything, so it was a waste of a card, but oh well. This battle is not going to last long enough where it's going to matter, so I might as well just use it for funsies. Made me feel better. Skill potion's not bad. I love a skill potion because it's just getting basically a free random card. Sometimes I am not a huge fan of RNG. I'm not a huge fan of just like hoping that against hope that whatever you're getting is going to do jack shit for you. Especially when it's a consumable like that. It's just like, okay, well, you used it once and it was nothing, so you're fucked. Choke is pretty good. Eviscerate is neat. I don't have a ton of cards to discard other cards right now. I've got like 2. So I don't think that's the one to go with. Quick Slash is honestly not the worst. Choke also costs 2 energy, which is a lot. You know what? I can afford to get the Eviscerate now on the off chance that I will get something better in the future. Because... or things that make me drop more cards, basically. Because the Silent draws so many cards per turn, the odds of me getting those things on future turns, if I do get more of those cards, is actually pretty good. So, and even if it comes into my hand, it's like, well, I don't have 4 energy this turn, so I can't do jack shit. It's not the end of the world, because I'm drawing all those extra cards. So, let's not worry too much about it. I feel like Dash is a really, really good one to upgrade because it's so versatile. Extra damage and extra block. Extra damage and poison. Dexterity up. Most of these, double versus triple. That's nasty. So yeah, so a lot of these will just be like, you do more of the thing. But then sometimes you'll get things like this where instead of like, you know, just do +1 or whatever, it's, instead of double, I triple. That's a huge difference. And there are some other ones where it's like, oh, this costs a ton of energy, so what we'll do instead is make it so that it costs less. I was wondering if maybe that was the case. This is a problem I find with this game is it blocks some of the information with its own UI. Extra 3 energy is tricky because you never know... Extra energy is tricky because you never know what your next turn is going to be. You usually don't. So I think... yeah, this one costs 0 if I use it now in the future. So I basically get a random skill for free every single time I draw this card. 9 damage, 2 weak. That's pretty good. Noxious Fumes, though, I think is the way to go. 3 poison every turn. That means suddenly that Noxious Fumes is multiplying the amount of damage that I'm doing every turn. That's huge. That's really huge. And speak of the devil, right off the fucking bat, great first turn card. Love it. I don't need to defend because this person's not using any attacks this turn. They are going to instead use a negative effect on me, so I want to do as much damage to them as I physically can. The slime is interesting. The slime, every time I bring them down to half health, they are going to split into 2 smaller slimes that do, have less abilities and stuff like that. But they also, start at full health. So I have to redo that over and over again. Let's do this real quick. I think the lower health it is when it turns over, when it becomes 2 slimes, the lower the maximum health of its babies. So the more damage I can do to it, even still, I think the better. So yeah, so because it's got, here it's going to do 35 damage, but if I can get it to less than 50% health this turn, that doesn't matter. Which, it's honestly probably worth using the Eviscerate right now just to make sure that that happens. See, now it's split into 2 babies. 59-59. And I'm doing that 3 poison damage to the 3 regular damage and 3 poison damage. So this is why that poison is so good right now, because it affects everybody on screen. So I'm glad that I grabbed the upgrade that I did when I did. Because that's going to be huge against these little baby slimes coming every single time. This one's going to attack for a lot of damage. I can reduce the juice. I'm going to probably do that real quick. I don't have to worry too much about taking extra damage in this fight. I just need to make sure that I stay alive, because every time you beat a boss in Slay the Spire, you get all your health back, which I mentioned earlier, but maybe bears repeating. Slimed, it's just going to be a card that's just... It's just a junk card that kind of does nothing, but if I want to get rid of it, I have to play it for 1 energy, which sometimes that's going to be the case. Which, actually, this turn, specifically, I can just use it. Not too worried about taking that damage, though, now, again, because I just need to get through this fight. Which, with that poison building up every single turn now, because it's 3 instead of 2, and it's not just going away, it's actually adding 1 poison every turn, that's huge. Let's get the weak on the guy who's going to do a ton of damage. Let's get a defend in as much as I can. Get the block in. Actually, he can just be transformed into the smaller one. So little babies there, but they're going to start taking tons of damage every turn now, and they've got so little health to start with that I'm not too worried about them. Yeah, this is over, folks. This is... We've got this one in the bag here. Look at those guys. That big slime's just going to outright die if he doesn't split. Which, he's going to split anyway. That's just how the fight works. But now his babies are going to start taking extra damage and extra poison every turn. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So the baby ones, these little ones, don't split. So if they're going to attack, you have to kill them. Which, again, doesn't really matter too much because this is in the bag. They're done already. You can see their health is in the green. That means the poison's going to kill them this turn. They're just applying debuffs to me. That's not going to do jack shit. There you go. And I get this cool little music at the end. And 104 gold. And a Swift Potion to draw 3 more cards. And then I get a boss card. So the bosses always drop tons of rare cards. And then by leveling up the specific character class that you play as between runs, more of these rare cards get added to the pool. And you can just draw those cards anytime. Choose a card next turn. Add 3 copies of that card into your hand. Exhaust. That can be nice. Gain 1 energy. Draw 2 cards. I think that's probably the one I'm going to go with. Extra energy is great. And then I get a boss relic. So these are always... These are... I was going to say they're always really good. They're not, actually. They're sometimes pretty good. So Wristblade would have been really, really great if I had gone for that kind of Shiv build. Or like the Blade Dance or whatever it's called, where I'm constantly getting cards like Shiv in my hand that just do damage for 0 cost. That would have been an amazing one because they're just suddenly doing extra 3 damage on top of their normal damage. That's huge. Huge, 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 huge. Gain energy at the start of your turn. You can no longer gain gold. No thanks. Gain energy at the start of your turn. You can no longer smith at rest sites. Fuck. These aren't great options for my current build. I could grab the Wristblade and start to pivot into getting more cards like Shiv generators. I think that's probably the play here because everything else takes arrows out of my quiver, and I do not want that. Don't want that. Alright, so I can get into a shop at my second run here, but I only got 203 gold, which isn't a ton. But I'll get a little bit more just for fighting this guy. Is there a deeper shop in here? Is that the only shop? No, there's more. But if I go to a shop, I can probably get a card or 2 that gives me shivs every turn, and then that will synergize extremely well with my relic. So maybe that's the play here. So this is an enemy. You can see the 6x2 on their attack. That means they're going to attack twice in the next turn for 6 damage each, which the Thorns would have been amazing for this. Let's grab a skill potion here. Draw cards until you have 6 in your hand. No. Gain 4 block next turn. Gain 4 block. That's pretty good. Reflex, if this card is discarded from your hand, draw 1 card. Let's grab the dodge and roll. Let's grab the noxious fumes. Gain 2 dexterity. I should have used that first, but oh well. So he's still doing 12 damage, so I want to... Oops. Can't do that. Let's get that block in there. Since I'm going to be building up poison on him anyway, and he's got this... what is that? Plated armor? Plated armor, yeah. The poison goes through armor, so that's not a huge deal. But I want to start doing damage to him wherever possible. Let's get that in there. Not as good as it could have been, but not as bad either. Okay, what do we got here? So he's only doing 6 damage, but he's going to use a buff on himself this turn as well, because it's on that blue fire. So I want a little bit of defense in to just block off whatever he's going to do. Get that so I get extra energy next turn, and then just stab, stab, stab. So every stab that he's taking is reducing the block that he's going to get next turn. So he's only going to get 11 all of a sudden, because that's how plated armor works. And he's taking 16 damage on top of that. That's pretty nasty. Ah, actually, Catalyst. Grab that. Phantasmal Killer. Next turn, your attacks deal double damage. That's not really going to help me here. Stabbing is not going to do anything because it's not going to break his plated armor, so let's just get the 7 block in there. Because I can't quite see if that's going to kill him or not. Okay, it is. It is. Oh, right. It says underneath that it's 31. Nice. Okay, so Quick Slash. Deal 8 damage, draw 1 card. Deal 15 damage. Next turn, draw 2 additional cards. Predator's pretty good. How many Noxious Poisons do I have? Or Noxious Fumes? Do I only have 2? Do I already have 2? Let's get that one. Let's break it up a little bit. Let's break up the monotony. Okay. Add a random skill card into your hand. It costs 0 this turn. Double the enemy's poison. Gain 2 dexterity. Deal 13 damage to all enemies. Exhaust. Yeah, that's on sale. That's a rare on sale, so I might as well grab it. Deal 4 damage for each skill in your hand. That's not bad. I should have looked at the relics first. Shit. The next 2 non-boss chests you open contain 2 relics. Fuck. Okay. I should have grabbed that. 50% discount on all products! I really should have bought that. I was not paying attention. Apply 1 vulnerable to all enemies. That's not bad either. Those are all really great. I should have bought one of those. I had the money for it. Fucked up. I fucked up. It's okay, though. That's the name of the game. That's the name of Slay the Spire, is just doing your best. And then, you know, trying again later. You learn, you live and learn. Okay, these guys suck shit, but I also just spent a ton of my money, so it's not the biggest problem in the world either. They just do so much damage on top of all their other garbage. So what they do is they will deal damage to me and steal money from me every single turn, and then after like 3 turns they will just run away. So they really stink. The problem is they just do so much, and I had no blocks that turn, so I'm just going to eat 14 damage here on top of the money they steal. If I kill them before they run away, they don't steal anything. But look at how much damage they just did to me on my second battle in this run. I'm already down to like 75% health. Again, no real block option, so it's kind of maybe a fault of my deck here, is that I don't have a ton of ways to, once I build up that poison, I don't have a ton of ways to actually stop myself from taking damage. Maybe something to consider fixing in the future. But for now... Okay, so he's blocking this turn, which means that he's going to try to run away next turn. So I want to try and do as much damage to him as I possibly can this turn. Get that flying knee in there, there we go. So he's gone, I'm at 43 health, not a great start. Get that money back, get that skill potion, get a card, I get a Piercing Whale plus. All enemies lose 8 strength this turn. Exhaust. Remove until end of combat. All out attack, deal 10 damage to all enemies, discard 1 card at random. It's not bad. Let's get the Piercing Whale, though, because it's upgraded. And let's do this, because I've got that relic that makes these... Oh my god, come on! You are 10% more likely to find treasure in question mark rooms. I found these motherfuckers instead, and no good way to defend myself with other than just regular defense. Yeah. Probably do that over blocking, because that's more permanent. Oh, this is rough. This is what I have a problem with when it comes to the silent. I don't feel like they necessarily transition well into the mid game very well. They do pretty good early on, and I think get like really strong later when they're just like pouring poison down people's throats. But boy. 6 damage 3 times, 18 damage. That's not gonna do me good. Get that weakness, get that block in. Get a flying knee to get the extra damage next turn. I want to kill him as quickly as humanly possible because he's just going to start getting stronger and stronger and stronger if I don't. So let's make sure I do that. I am getting that poison in. That's nice. I've got some potions here. Power, skill. 9, game 10 block. Okay, so I can... Might as well do that. Get that hit on there. That's just going to use up the energy I just gained. Get that poison on him. Let's do the outmaneuver and the distraction. Alright, well, next turn is going to be either wild or completely useless. But that's okay. We're here. We're in it. We're in it now. Bouncing Flask, Piercing Whale. All enemies lose 8 strength this turn. That's not going to be too bad. So he's doing 0 damage now. He's just going to die. Please hit the other one. Please. Yes. Perfect. Get that. Get that. And then I still ended with 3 bonus energy that I can't do anything with. Yep, he's doing 0 damage, so that's nothing. I bet if I had Thorns, he still would have taken extra damage from that, though. And then just Catalyst him, and then end the turn, because there's nothing else I need to do. He's just going to die. 37 health. Not a great place. Not a great place. Not in a great place in this battle, but that's okay. We don't need to be. We're drawing to a close on this run, I think, is what's actually happening here, but that's fine. That's fine. Draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards, deal 10 damage if you have discarded a card this turn, gain 2 energy. Let's get the prepared because it's the beefier one. You know what? If we're going to go out, we're going to go out in a blaze of glory. We're going to go for that mini-boss. We're going to go get our asses kicked. And it's going to be glorious, don't you worry. 4 skills, deal 4 damage for each skill in your hand. This is a good one to start with because I can get that 2 extra juice on them. And then we'll just go into the next turn. So 2 less strength every turn, that's going to be pretty nasty for them. So they're doing, what, 9 total damage here this turn. Weaken them. They were already weakened, though, so it doesn't actually do me any good. Get that dexterity, get that block in. Yeah, there we go. So they're going to still do damage to me regardless, but they're going to do less than they could have. 2 damage. Alright, I'm at half health. Get that poison in. I don't need to defend at all, so might as well do that. Shouldn't exhaust that this turn because there's no reason to, so let's just move it on. Hopefully we draw it again here soon. Could have gambled and grabbed those other 2 cards, but because of this thing having the malleable thing, gain 3 block every time I attack them, you know, that's pretty nasty. So it would have actually, using that card at the end there wouldn't have done me much good. They're doing 15 damage here. I can block all of that, just let them take some poison and take my 3, so give them the 5 damage here at the end for nothing. Might as well. Okay. Definitely want to use that. Let's grab that in there too. That's not bad, because that's gonna... Okay, this is actually going to synergize very well with my wrist blade, my little Ezio thing there. It costs 0, so I might as well use it. So that's going to do 5, and then that's going to do another 5. And I'm going to take a real nasty hit here. And then I'm going to go straight into a mini-boss. So this is probably going to be the end, folks. But let's see how it goes. Let's just use that for the hell of it, just because it's fun. Maybe I get something really, really good. Slice, deal 8 damage, draw 3 cards, discard 1 card, deal 4 damage to all enemies twice. Deal 3 damage, draw 3 cards, discard 1 card. Slice. Grab that Slice Plus. That's pretty nasty. Oh, great! It's my least favorite mini-boss in the game, too. Motherfucking fantastic! Okay. Okay. Don't really have a lot of defensive options here. Let's just drink this potion here, see what happens. Whenever you play a card, deal 1 damage to all enemies. Yeah, that's really good with my wrist blade, so let's do that. Get that slice damage in there, because why not? Get that deflect, because why not? What are they looking at for poison? They're at 6. If I catalyst them. That didn't do me much good. Flying Knee's not bad, though. Not a bad way to end this turn out. Boy, yeah, so this thing, their whole thing is that they just do shitloads of damage. That's their whole thing, and I have very little health, so this is bad spot, especially since I don't have really any defensive options whatsoever. I did not think about that early enough on, and that's my own fault. That'll help a little bit. Getting them reduced 3 strength plus the extra 3 turns of weakened damage is not bad. With the 7 damage from the Shiv every turn, that's going to actually start doing a real... that's going to build up really quickly. Might as well get that in there. Boy, though. Boy. This is not looking good. What I got here? I got draw 3 cards. I'll use that skill because otherwise this is going to basically be the end if I don't do something here. Okay, they're only doing 8 damage this turn. Nightmare. Choose a card. Next turn, add 3 copies of that card into your hand. All enemies lose 6 strength this turn. Exhaust. That's not bad. Draw cards until you have 6 in your hand. Let's grab that. Not the turn for it, but because I don't need it, but get that Shiv in. Do that. Can basically use anything I want on that. I think that's a temporary strength debuff, otherwise I would use it on them right now. I think that's temporary. Okay. Wears off. 18 damage coming in now. Got some... Oh, okay. I've got some defenses. And they're pretty low. I think we're going to pull this one out. Just barely. Just at the very end here. Alright, what is that? Shackled. At the end of a turn's gained 8 strength. Okay, so that... Yep, that's exactly what it does exactly what I thought it did. Oh, shit! I should have used Survivor. It's not going to be the end of the world or anything like that, but it's still 3 more damage when I'm not doing much, when I don't have much to play with right now. Shit. Again, I'm getting a little tilted. I'm getting a little off the bat. Enemies in elite combats have 25% less HP. Not quite sure what that means. Regen is good. That is actually a way to heal myself, so I think that's the game kind of throwing me a bone here. That's not bad. At the end of your turn, retain up to 2 cards. That's a really good one. Cost 0. Bane, deal 7 damage. If the enemy has poison, deal 7 damage again. That's not bad. Whenever you draw this card, add a copy of it into your hand. Deal 4 damage. Exhaust. I think well-laid plans is what I want right now. Boy... Let's go to this one on the hope and a prayer that it's something interesting. Hey, Jax, lose 3 HP, gain 2 strength. Great. Transform 2 cards, obtain a special relic. Oh boy, we'll see how that goes. Marvelous. You quaff the mysterious substance. Immediately, you are invigorated and feel your muscle fibers twitch. Alright, we're going into another mini-boss. This is probably the end, folks. This is not a great mini-boss either. Mutagenic. Start your combat with 3 strength. At the end of your first turn, lose 3 strength. That's not bad. It just means I do extra damage on my first turn, basically. Boy, they do so much damage, though. They do so much damage, and I have so few ways to deal with it. I'm a survivor. I'm not going to give up. Gain that energy back. Get that deflect. Get that hit in there. That's not bad. 18 to 18. Enemy loses strength. Hi, cat. Arrgh. Conti, my cat, is also very worried about me right now. Maybe I'll get something that costs 0. Nope. No such luck. I don't know that I even have many cards in there that increase my... or that cost 0 to begin with. I think most of my stuff that costs 0 right now is just random cards that I'm getting. Oh, 1 health. Oh, boy. Well, unless I put 14 damage, I've got to figure out how to stop 14 damage. Gain 7... get him off the field entirely. That's it, though. That's the end of this. 14 damage, 5. Oh, well, maybe not completely the end of it, but I think it's getting pretty close here, because that guy in the back is going to use something really nasty here on me, and I'm going to start doing less damage every turn. Ugh! Ugh! And now I'm entangled, which means I can't use attacks this turn. That's not anything. That's not going to help me at all. Do it just to see what happens. Outmaneuvers, that's not going to do anything. Double the enemy's poison. Sure, double your non-existent poison. Goodbye, everybody! I've got to go to this 12 damage. Oh, 1 health left, but goodbye. Let's see what I get, though. That's okay, because, like, most... inadequately prepared. Yeah, that's actually fair. That's actually fair. Totally fair. I did not prepare with enough block stuff. I went for a poisony build that was all about dealing damage to the enemy over time, but did not have enough defensive measures to keep myself from dying. But I get some XP. About halfway to another level with the Silent. And that was, you know, sort of my least used character in the game, so I'm not as used to them as I should be. But that's going to do it for Breakfast of Champions. Yet another episode of our morning show on Fanbyte.com, where we apparently just play roguelikes over and over and over again. Because I really like roguelikes right now. I don't know what's going on. We'll be back with more Breakfast of Champions, more No Gods, No Jump Masters, more all kinds of stuff. I believe last night, Andrew and John began their playthrough of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines as Dr. Acula, which is pretty good. Kind of in preparation for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 coming out here in this decade, probably. And Merritt is always going to be coming back with her stuff. She's been playing some Yakuza 0. I will be back next Tuesday, specifically with something. I haven't quite decided what I want to do for my Tuesday show yet. I'm going to think about that a little bit. I'm on a New Game Plus of Sekiro right now. Maybe I'll show some of that off. Maybe I will just keep playing some roguelikes. Or actually, next Tuesday we'll have Mortal Kombat 11 will be out, so I'll probably show off some Mortal Kombat 11, to be honest. Merritt was also talking about playing some Mortal Kombat 11, so we'll see how that goes. But, for the meantime, I want to thank you once again, which I've already said, but it's still true. It's still true how much I appreciate you, the viewer, for watching me play Slay the Spire on another morning on Fanbyte. Have a great day. Be excellent to each other. Trans rights. I'm out of things to say. Goodbye.